All right, let's go back to one of our top stories this morning, the case against 5 men charged with the murders of rapper AKA and his celebrity chef friend Tibz, back in the Durban Magistrates Court today. It was postponed in August to finalize outstanding investigations. Let's talk about what all of this means with Gomolemo Mochadibane, who is an attorney. Gomolemo, good morning to you, and thank you very much for your time. There are a couple of complex factors here. So the first one is we're expecting to hear from the state whether their case has now been finalized, and that's an important thing. But there's a key piece that's missing, and this relates to the extradition of the Ndimande brothers from eSwatini. We've seen some complications there. Just talk to us about how much of a delay this could represent, given the fact that the Prime Minister issued that surrender order in August, which then facilitated the NPA's extradition efforts, but then the legal team for the accused appealed the decision.
Thank you for having me, Mani, and good day to the viewers at home. So, as you have said, and it's, I believe it's common cause that the extradition order was granted on the 16th of August. However, just mid last month, the attorneys for the two other co-accused brothers, the Ndimande brothers, filed an appeal, which was also late. So as far as I'm aware, the judgment for that leave of appeal hasn't been handed down. Looking at the fact that this matter was postponed today, with the hopes that they would be extradited and surrendered to the South African authorities, it's quite worrisome that we don't know where that appeal lies. We don't know what the judgment is in respect to that. So what we don't know what's going to happen today. So the main thing that we are anticipating and the main question that we want a response to is, are the brothers going to be in court today? And if not, the matter might be further postponed, pending the process and the finalization of such appeal.
So let's just stay with there a little bit longer. So the issue was that if the extradition was not resolved by the November 29 deadline, November 29 is today. I know with the legal profession, November 29 extends into the whole day. So maybe something could shift a little bit later on, but it sounds like that might be unlikely. Then a new surrender order would be required. And we know it's taken, Gomolemo, an inordinate amount of time to get the issue of extradition resolved and finalized. What would a new surrender order entail?
So the main issue with now this extradition order, as it was granted, there were a few safety and security concerns that the two accused raised. And this also formed a part of their grounds for the leave to appeal. Even though on the 16th of August, these security concerns were addressed, it seemed as though they still have an issue with regards to that. In terms of the rules, the surrender order, the extradition order, was supposed to have been implemented within 45 days of the granting of that order. As we know, there was an appeal, which then meant that extradition would be suspended. So I do believe that since they have not, we don't know what's happening, as you say. Things may change during the course of the day, but if they are not in court today and if the appeal is still pending, then that means a new extradition order might need to be applied for, and I do believe that it may be heard, obviously, next year, which now prolongs the matter even further. Like I said, we had hopes that the two accused would join the other 5 accused in the matter. And in addition to that, the police commissioner and the lead prosecutor in this matter had also alluded to new evidence being led and new key suspects or key witnesses being introduced, as well as further arrests to be made. So I do believe that even if the 2 co-accused are extradited, are in South Africa at the moment, the matter will still be prolonged pending the further arrests and further investigations into other connected persons.
So let's see how this puzzle fits, Gomolemo, to the state and to the proceedings we're expecting to unfold in the Durban Magistrates Court today, with the state finalizing their investigations and providing that update to the court. What typically happens in that setting, and how much would the state have to reveal about which new witnesses they're going after and the prospect of arrest? In other words, how much would they have to lay on the table, which is legally and procedurally correct for the defense teams to be abreast of?
So they would have to, lay the progress of the investigation. So that means new documents, new statements added into the docket would need to be produced in court. I would believe that the prosecutor had already had sight of this in order to prepare for today. However, we would also need to allow the defense some time in order to also go through the papers. So what is likely to happen today, as I'd mentioned earlier, is a further postponement. But what the police, the investigating officers and the prosecutors need to lay down now is, possible timelines as to when we can expect these new accused to be arrested. We'd have to then possibly hear from the new key witnesses today, which may further unearth other stuff in relation to this case. The lead prosecutor did also allude to the fact that the case shouldn't take any much longer to conclude. So I'm not too sure with regards to that statement, but let's just wait and see what happens in court today.
I mean, it's more than a year now, and it has been a long time, I guess, for the families as well, to be able to get closer to a resolution on this. But, we have that major case in South Africa, which is still in the North Gauteng High Court, and that's the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, which has been ongoing for more than 10 years. So anything is possible, even with the promise of a tight deadline and timelines and, hopefully a conclusion of justice in this matter. What are your thoughts on, I mean, it's hard to tell, I guess, how long it will take.
So in respect of criminal cases, you know that the onus is on the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. So things naturally won't just take 2 days or a year to be concluded. Furthermore, when the investigators now run the investigations and collect evidence and speak to witnesses, firstly, that evidence needs to be tested and processed as well as confirmed before it can have any evidential value. Furthermore, when it's then presented to court, the presiding officer will then decide whether it is admissible as evidence or not. So there's a lot of things, with criminal law, it's not just black and white. And I know that, especially with the Senzo Meyiwa case, there's been a lot of unwarranted delays. However, some delays are in respect of the due process that needs to be followed in terms of, the Criminal Procedure Act and criminal law as a whole.